So hello everyone, welcome to a new lab. This is going to be AWS Solution Architect Challenge Lab series, and lab name is creating a static website for the cafe. So scenario is Frank and Martha are a husband and a wife team who own and operate a small cafe business that sells desserts and coffee. Their daughter Sophia and their other employee Nikhil also work at the cafe. The cafe has a single location in a large city. The cafe currently doesn't have a marketing strategy. It gains new customer mostly when someone walks by, notice the cafe and decide to try it. So the cafe has a reputation for high quality dessert and coffees, but the cafe reputation is limited to people who have visited or who have heard about it from other cafe customers. Sophia suggests to Frank and Martha that they should expand community awareness of what the cafe has to offer. The cafe doesn't have a web presence yet, and it doesn't currently use any cloud computing services. However, that situation is about to change. So, lab overview and objectives are in this lab, you use Amazon S3 to build a static website and implement architectural best practice to protect and manage your data. And after completing this lab, you should be able to do the following: host a static website by using Amazon S3, implement one way to protect your data with Amazon S3, implement data lifecycle strategy in Amazon S3, implement a disaster recovery strategy in Amazon S3. So this is the architect of the diagram. We have region 1 and region 2. Both region have S3 buckets and both are CRR, mean cross region replicated. So a business request for cafe launching a static website. Challenge 1. Sophia mentioned to Nikhil that she would like the cafe to have a website that visually showcase the cafe's offering. The website would also provide customer with business details such as the location of the store, business hours, telephone number. Nikhil is happy that he has been asked to create the first website for the cafe. So the first challenge, you take on role of Nikhil and use Amazon S3 to create a basic website for the cafe. So in task 1, we extract the file that needed for the lab. Let's download the zip file. Go to the folder. Let's extract this file, and we have index and image in this zip file. Next is task 2. Task 2 is creating S3 bucket to host your static website. In this task, you create an S3 bucket and configure it to host your static website. So open the Amazon S3 console. I have already opened it. And let's go to S3. And we are going to create a bucket in North Virginia US East 1 region. So North Virginia US East 1 is selected. Let's create a bucket. Name is going to be cafe website. And enable ACL. block all public access should be not selected, and let's enable the bucket versioning and create bucket. Yes, I have to acknowledge that turning off block all public access might result in this bucket and object with becoming public. I know. So this cafe website name is already been taken, so let's write another name which is going to be coffee cafe website. So we have created a bucket named coffee cafe website, and now task 3 is uploading content to your S3 bucket. In this task you upload static file to your S3 bucket. So upload the index.html file and the ss and the image folder, css and image folder to your S3 bucket. So let's first upload the index file and then the image folder. Let's upload this. So in a separate web browser, open endpoint link for your static website. Let's enable initially we have to open the endpoint link, right? Let's enable static hosting website. Index document is index.html. Let's save changes. Try to open this website. Access denied. Next is on choose this as to multiple choice questions. So this lab has multiple questions as well. So question 1 is, when viewing the website after task 3, do you see the page in the browser? No. The files are not publicly accessible yet, so I would say no. And the rest of the question we are going to give answer as we move on to the next tasks. So let's proceed to task 4, which is creating a bucket policy to grant public read access. So Frank shared his plan to create many new type of pastries for the cafe. So you realize that you need to upload an image for each new dessert that he creates and enable public access for on each object. You don't want to do this process manually. Instead, you decide to create a bucket policy that automatically makes each object public when it's uploaded to the folder. So create a bucket policy that grant read-only permission to public anonymous user by using bucket policy editor. Let's edit bucket policy. Policy generator S3 bucket policy allow we are going to give the permission or we can use AWS documentation. Let's copy this file. Yes, we are creating the permission. We are going to copy this code. We don't need to create a policy from the starting. Let's go to permissions and edit policy, paste the code, change the name, the bucket to cafe. Website, coffee cafe website, and save changes. Let's go to property, and now we can access the website. Great. Confirm that website for cafe is now publicly accessible. Yes, it is, because we have added a policy to the permissions which says the effect is allow and principal is any. Action is get object from coffee cafe website. This is the resource. So now new business requirement protecting website data. Challenge 2. We show Sophia the new website. And she is very impressed. Good job. You and Sophia discussed that you will likely need to make many updates to the website as number of cafe offering expands. Olivia, an AWS solution architect and regular cafe customer, advises you to implement a strategy to prevent the accidental overwrite and deletion of website object. You already need to make some changes to the website, so you decide that this would be good time to explore object versioning. So they say enable versioning on S3 bucket, which I already have. I have already enabled the versioning. So if you go to bucket versioning, it says enabled. Next it says in our text editor open the index.html file. So let's open with Notepad. And it says modify the file according to the following instructions. Change BG color to aquamarine. So if you go to website, this is the BG color. Now we are going to change this color in the index.html file. You see BG color, we are going to change it to Gainsborough. Next, BG color orange to corn silk. This aquamarine to Gainsborough. Let's save this file, close it, and upload this file again. And upload. Now reload the website, and you see the color of these little sections is changed. Now it says go to bucket, select, so let's go to index.html version. To see the latest version of index.html, go to bucket and show version, and you see both version of this file listed. Yes, so this is the latest version, current version. It says this was the initial version which we have uploaded before this version. Next is return to browser tab with the multiple choice question for this lab and answer the following question. Question 2, which is what is the another way to ensure maximum protection and prevent the accidental deletion of preserved versions. What is the another way to ensure maximum protection and prevent the accidental deletion. I would go with bucket policy. Next, architecture best practice. In this task, you used one technique to implement the architecture best practice of protecting your data. So next is new business requirement. Optimizing costs for Amazon S3 object storage. Challenge 3. Now that you have enabled versioning, you realize that the size of S3 bucket will continue to grow as you upload new objects and versions. To save costs, you decide to implement a strategy to retire some of those old versions. So setting lifecycle policy, task 6. In this task, you set up lifecycle policy to automatically move older version of the object in your source bucket to S3 standard infrequent SS, also known as S3 standard IA. The policy should also eventually expire the object. So now configure two rule in the website buckets lifecycle configuration to receive full credit. Create two separate rule. Do not configure two transition in a single rule. So in one rule, move previous version of all source bucket object to S3 standard IA after 30 days. So let's create a lifecycle rule. Rule name is going to be transition rule and apply to all objects. Move current version of a object between storage class. Move non-current version of object between storage class. Yes. Number of days are going to be 30. Only one version to retain and create rule. Next, deletion rule, apply to all object, acknowledge, and permanently delete non-current version of object. After 365 days, number of version to retain 1. Create rule. Note: to limit the scope of the replication to a particular bucket object, for example index.html file, create a tag for the object before you create the lifecycle rule. I don't know. So you should now have a lifecycle configuration that move previous version of your source bucket of object S3 to S3 standard IE after 30 days. The policy also permanently delete the object that are in S3 standard IA after 365 days. So next, new business requirement, enhancing durability and planning of disaster recovery. Next time Olivia comes to cafe, you tell her about the update to the website. You describe the measures that you took to protect the website's static file from being accidentally overwritten or deleted. Olivia tells you that cross-region replication is another feature of Amazon S3 that you can use to back up and archive critical data. So task 7 is about enabling cross region replication. So in this task you enable cross region replication on your source S3 bucket in a different region than the region for your source bucket. Create second bucket. Okay, let's go to bucket and change our region to Ohio US East second. Create bucket. This is going to be coffee cafe website 2. Enable versioning. Create bucket. I acknowledge. So the second bucket is now the destination bucket. On your source bucket, enable cross region replication. When you create the replication rule, make sure that you do the following. So let's go to replication rule, create replication rule. ID is going to be 1, status enable, apply to all object, destination, choose bucket in this account, yes, browse, coffee cafe website 2, choose, IAM role is already created, use cafe role for AWS identity access management, cafe role. If you encounter the warning the replication rule is saved but it might not work, you can ignore it and proceed to the next step. So on prompt about replicate existing objects, choose no. Okay, submit. So cafe role has the following permission. The actions are S3 list bucket, replicate object, replicate delete, replicate tag, get, and effect is allow. This SS policy allow the role to perform the replication task on all S3 bucket. In real production environment, you should restrict the policy to apply to only your source and destination S3 bucket. So return to the browser tab with the multiple choice question and answer question number 3. Do you see the object from your source bucket in the destination bucket? Let me go to destination bucket, and there is no object, so I would choose no, submit. Next is was the version that you just deleted. I didn't do that till now. So next is make a minor change to index HTML file. Upload the new version to your source bucket. Okay. Let me again open this file and open with Notepad. Let me change this color to black. Save. Go to my source bucket. Choose upload, add file, index, upload. Now verify that the source bucket has the 3 version of the index HTML. Yes. And confirm that the new object was replicated to your destination bucket. You might need to reload the browser tab. Okay, let me go to my destination bucket, and as you can see we have index.html replicated here. And go to your source bucket and delete the latest version of the object. Just go to source bucket and go to version, select this, delete, type permanently delete. Go to your source bucket, delete the version, and then question number 4. Question number 4 is, was the version that you just deleted from your source bucket also deleted from your destination bucket? Let's check it. So let's go to destination bucket, Cafe Coffee website 2, Coffee Cafe website 2. The version is still there, so the answer would be no. And let's submit this answer. Go back. So we have completed all the tasks. Let's submit our work. Submission is recorded. Now submission report and grading is being created. So we got answer second wrong. So the correct answer is, the best solution is to add multi-factor authentication to prevent accidental deletion of a preserved version. All other tasks are being done correctly. So this lab is completed. Thank you.